cousins. I'm back with another reading. This one is on a topic I've always wanted to do. Just for the sake of it, I am a big fan of archetypes. The archetypes that people have, the archetypes that people play, the role they play in the universe, in spirit, things of that nature. I believe in neutrality, duality. I believe in no balance and whatnot, right? So I say all that to say this. This one is going to be on the spiritual profile of good old Donald Trump. Yes, Donald Trump, right? Because of the state of the economy and the state of the country and how things are unfolding. And most of the time people will have a question, oh, why is the universe letting this happen? Why is this going on? And things of that nature. And usually I wouldn't touch somebody like him. But I am an unbiased person when it comes to what spirit says. So I do want to read the archetype and the character and the roles he play in the grand scheme of things. We look at it from a higher perspective. Well, from a I can not say a higher perspective, from a wider lens, because everything is written, everything is ordained, everything is fated to happen. But how we respond to it determines the next phase, right? And so, with that being said, we're gonna go ahead and get into it and look into the archetype and the spiritual profile, or who was this person classified as Donald Trump is. And so, again, I'm gonna remain neutral, unbiased, and of course, I have my own personal opinions. So, this reader do not reflect my personal opinions. But I'm a very I like to know what before I react. I like to know what's the whole picture first versus a part of something that I do not have a clear view on. Okay, so the help of my spirit team, we're gonna look into this. So I'm using a few decks just to get like a grand scheme. I have my questions, of course, but okay. So already, yeah. And when you see these cards, this doesn't actually mean what it is sometimes, but it could just say, like, when I start reading them, it'll make better sense. But we have prostitute, um, and everything I say is for alleged and entertainment purposes, even before this. So yeah, we are prostitute, but it came in reverse. Um, Places material considerations and security above self empowerment. Okay, so already this is saying how it's been ran already, how who he is already. Okay. 2-1, and we'll start right here. Okay. Mother, nurture, patient, unconditional love, joy from birth. Samaritan, this is crazy. How all of this is coming up, not in reverse like I thought it would be. Hopefully, I could be an unbiased person when I'm looking at these cards. Okay, so we're just gonna keep these for now. Okay. Um. Hmm. So already, I'm getting the first thing I get is reformation, right? Now, when I see some of these, I'm not looking at it as the actual physical archetype of it, but I'm getting like a reformation, right? I feel like his purpose here is to reveal what's been in the dark for so long, right? And to showcase what's going on, right? And I will say that because of everything that's coming up, right? light attributes, right? So we're unveiling the secrets behind closed doors, right? In a sense of that. And now we got the lovers and and we have prostitute and the lovers like that's in reverse. So the right here that's telling me that don't forget that despite their position, the nature of who they are still is that, okay? And so the shadow attribute of love is obsessive passion that harms others and self-destructive devotion, which that correlates. But in the middle of grand scheme of things, his position is opening up the senses to opening up reality to the people who were blind to it, right? Unveiling the truth to people who chose not to see. Oh, shit. Unveiling the truth to people who chose not to see. Now, how many of us didn't realize everything that was going on until he got into office, right? It's giving me, if I could put it in layman terms, it's giving me the world was once as if you ever seen last Avatar the Last Airbender and they was embossing say a lot of people was embossing say thinking, oh, there's no war outside, there's no war in Bossing say, there's no war here, there's no war outside of here. But beyond those walls, you see that the Fire Nation attacked, right? And that's how I see it, right? I feel like he's the Fire Nation rather than Boxing Say. He's right there in your face saying we're doing this, that, the third, X, Y, and Z, and now it's opening people's eyes to the fact that damn, we are kind of, I ain't gonna say hold you, but we are fucked, right? We haven't been we didn't see this shit before, right? But now we seeing this shit, right? And so everything's taken is everything is developing as it should develop, right? Because it was already written, right? And it's funny because it's not something that it's not something you just only feel, you see, you hear. It's something that you sense too. You sense that change. You sense it. It's like from coming from that sixth sense and beyond, right? Hmm. What else we got? Yeah, Goddess in reverse. Hypothetically, he's like the anti he's anti divine feminine. It feels like that. And we have a space. So that's kind of telling me that we're done in this part, right? He's everything that's against the divine feminine, of course, but I want to say I'm not gonna say toxic masculine or anything of that nature, but I actually feel like he is placed in this position as a catalyst for truth, right? And what I mean by truth doesn't mean coming from him. I mean in the sense of it being shown to the rest of everybody, to the rest of the world, to the rest of the country, everybody else, and whatnot, right? Let me see. Oh yeah, nothing to do with it. Okay, cool. Yeah. So I feel like that's his position. I'm not gonna say as a truth seeker. Also, I feel like it's to give everybody a new foundation, right? To give everybody a new sense of self, not directly, indirectly, um, less becoming less dependent and auto surviving and just doing, right? And so when you're exposed to the truth about something that's supposed to be comforting to you, that's supposed to take care of you, you it's being destroyed. That's just what it is, right? And so that's one of the things I feel like he is doing. There's a lot of destruction going on. allegedly, I'm gonna keep saying that, but um, I feel like in a way it was meant to happen, right? And it's meant to crash down, right? And so for some reason, I'm getting the fact that without him doing what needs to be done, um, it would never push the people who need to be pushed to be more independent outside the government, right? Again, these are not my personal opinions. I'm very unbiased reader, so don't come for me. I have my own personal opinions, so that's just what I'm getting, right? And in a way, um, next thing I'm getting is survival of the fittest, right? And that's sad to say, but it's going from one extreme to the next extreme, right? So it's taking people out of their comfort zone and out of that dependence and codependence, right? Even though it's not fair, and that's my personal opinion coming through, even though it's not fair, it's taking people out of that dependence and codependence into more independence, if that makes sense, right? So you might see more independent people, right? And again, this is all spiritually too. So you have readers that talk about things that's going on physically and in this in the physical realm, and I'm talking about the spiritual, right? So yeah, I gotta make sure I say that throughout the whole video. Okay, what else? And that's all I'm getting for right here. So I'm not gonna pull it again. Oh Lord. Oh, let's see what else we got. Okay. If I sound like I'm sniffling, it does. I am. All right. What is the role Donnie is playing? Yes, I said Donnie. Okay. Alright, let's stop. Oh Lord. But we got the mother again. We have the mother flipped out. Oh wait, I can't find it. So, but the mother had flipped out. So we'll see. We have the flame, which is funny because as I was saying, that is the flame is like fire burns stuff down, but it's also transforms too, right? What else we have? We have the temple. This is giving me government vibes. So setting fire to the government, the vision. So this is telling me this was planned. So he has his sights to take down the government from the inside out. Um, allegedly. Um, I think this is more so the beginning of the end of how the government of how we see it. Again, I'm getting this reformation in my head, so I'm gonna keep going. The box in the box is structure. Okay, let's pull two more. The shaman. You know what? I felt like we was going to get that card too. I don't know why. I should have said it out loud. I just felt that it was coming. And agape, which is funny because agape, if I'm not mistaken, means love. Yeah, I don't know what this is. This is not what I was expecting, right? This is why it's funny how some of the cards came up in the same form, right? Because this is talking about unconditional love. This is a person that's in between realms. This is foundation. So I feel like this is a shift of a from one to another, right? And I feel like this is a way for us to lean more onto each other versus away from each other, right? Because for a long time we've been kept separate in our separate bubbles, and now we see that how one person can destroy the line of things that that was meant to be for all of us is connecting us together, right? As a unit, right? Because what affects one person affects the next person, what affects the next person affects everybody, right? And so this, in a way, is like a way shower, which is crazy. Now again, this just his position, right? And I'm seeing this from a higher perspective and how things are going. People still have their opinions. People still have their feelings. Just people still feel the way they feel because you're valid in how you feel. But how this is showing out, it's pushing us to be more of a loving society towards one another, an understanding society towards one another. So I think in their own way, it will be good for us in the long run. This is weird. This is very, very weird. I'm not gonna hold you. This is kind of weird to me. But again, this is coming from a higher perspective. So, um, there's a message here for a certain group of people. If you still choose to live in hate, hate is all you'll get, right? If you still choose, see, I feel like spirit is one people to be willing to change their opinions and their feelings, and people to be willing to accept that they change by experience, right? But there are going to be a number of people who don't want to change, who don't want to do it. I thought this is giving people the chance um, to work together in unison, in harmony, right? It's almost like, okay, now what are you humans about to do? What are you people about to do? What are you group of individuals who are human and they're skeleton and bones when the flesh is gone? What are you guys about to do together, right? So I feel like this is channeling too. Um, this is not meant to be to have some him be worshipped as an idol, but I feel like this is to give comfort to those who need it. Because again, you have people saying, "Wow, spirit, let this happen. Why this is going on? Why is this happening?" And I feel like this is why it's happening, right? This is why it's going on. See, this is why it's going on. This is why it's happening, and we have to understand that this is what it comes to. I feel like in a way, spirit giving us chance after chance to get it right, to get it together, and so that's just how I'm taking it. Okay, now I feel like now we should just be more mindful. Like what's to come while in office, right? Let's see what else Spirit has to say about him being in office. Okay, let's see. Egotism. Okay, this is telling me him as a person, not him as a position in spirit. So of course we have egotism, right? Assertion, asserting his dominance, um, and his position of power, a position of authority, um, let's keep going. Adaptability. Yeah, part of him feel like made too many changes. And again, we have that vision, like in the last one. So he had his sights set for something else. Um, For some reason, I'm getting for these two. He want things to be set as is, to the default setting. And he likes the idea of it being set to a default setting. He feel like people should know their position and their role, right? People should know their position and their role, and I'm getting another sense, but I'm gonna look into it. Um, this is torn with the idea. Mm. Order, they go order, so everything has its position and role, like I was saying. And then we'll keep going. Extremism. It's funny how I mentioned extreme one extreme to the extreme. So he's just taking it to a whole nother level at this point. And I feel like this is him doing so. I feel like at the end he was meant to do that, but how he's supposed to do it is really him. Like how he. I'm trying to put this in words. Trying to put what I'm feeling into words. Um, humans, people are creatures of habit. They do what's natural to them. They do what's familiar to them, right? He was placed in this role for reformation, knowing that he was a creature of habit, knowing that people have has willpower, right? Free will, I meant. And so by being placed in this position, um, I'm not gonna say it was expected, but he had the free will to not act as he is doing, right? But again, I feel like it's funny because you see people saying, "Oh, it's Pluto in Aquarius" or something like that, Aquarius and Pluto, or something like that, something of that nature. I'm not an astrology type of person. I'm trying to learn. Anyway, I digress. Um, yeah, and getting into this is making sense. Okay. Oh, this is okay. Results for this. Okay, okay. This is giving me something that so being in a place where we're losing a lot, but if I was to give any shining beacon of hope to anybody, it's the fact that we know how to use what we have left and make more of it, right? And so I feel like this is what we'll eventually come to, using what we have left to make more of it, right? And this is giving me one of the hermetic laws, the law of rhythm. Everything up must come down, everything down must comes up. And so now, what can you do with what you have now? What can you make with what you have now? And I feel like that's what this is pointing to too. What can you make with what you have now? What are we doing? What are you going to do? Right? Don't want to pull three more. Patience, wholesomeness, eccentricity. What are we doing for now? What are we doing? What are we doing? What are we doing? Right? I feel like this is where we're being pushed to. What are we doing? What are we going to do with the stuff we have now? Now that certain things are being taken away, it's not that certain things are being removed. What? Oh my God! What are we doing to? I hate using metaphors. I try to be as specific um as possible. But what are we doing to replenish ourselves? Okay. Um, and on the other hand, I mean, I'm not gonna get into that. Okay. So, and again, this is a spectrum of things too. So it could be more than just one aspect that makes sense, and I hope it does make sense to those who are looking into it. And give some people comfort, and that's the purpose of me making this video. I want to give people comfort in troubling times, like where They're taking snaps away and Medicaid and Medicare and the things that they gave to people that people was used to, and now it's being removed. Okay, and I also get in the sense that it is from a wider lens. Uh, from a wider lens, it is getting people from being so dependent. That's just crazy. I'm not gonna say that. I'm not gonna say that. I'm not gonna say that. Okay. So I'm just do a quick little Celtic cross. Okay. Ooh, and I made a spread using the AI. Sorry to get off. I made a spread using the AI, and I want to um actually do it right here. Okay. So we'll start off with this. So where are we at? 3, 2, 1. Oh, I'm doing that. This is him being triumphant in everything that he does. Um, him sitting in that power. Okay, in the situation. Funny enough, this is also him showing his things, showing his strength. Right. Um, as if you see, it's very chaotic in the background. And so for some reason I'm looking towards the background of these cards. Okay. Ones, Ace of Pentacles. It's starting not to make sense to me, and I don't think this is a spread I should be doing. So with that being said, I'm gonna change it up a little bit. Okay. We're gonna reshuffle. Because I feel like I was supposed to ask a question, but I didn't have one, so okay, let's see. Okay, this is better. He's moving with fours. This is the mob. I feel like this is ooh. For some reason this is giving me rage baiting. Um how much can we get the people upset? That's what it's giving me. How much can we give the people upset? Get the people upset, okay? Wise. This deals with the people on American soil. It wouldn't surprise me if he wants to try to enforce like um this is not coming to mind. I'm not gonna say it. Martial law. There we go. Um, it wouldn't surprise me if he wanted to do that to keep people in control. I mean, keep them yeah, under control. Um, this is emotional manipulation. There's know how to fuck people's emotions, get them riled up. Okay, what else? And feed people bullshit like junk. This is what this is giving. This is feeding people bullshit and junk and controlling a narrative. Hmm. Even though it's weird because I do feel like he wants to control the narrative and the structure I'm not saying he's targeting like the family systems, but I feel like something familiar, domestication, right? Yeah, 5 of Wands, and I told you stir up emotions because as you can see, there's only a few people enjoying themselves while everybody else is fighting in the background. Okay. Hermit. These are the Pentacles, the Hermit. I don't know, but I think he has a vendetta about people speaking out against him. Um, about people just speaking out in general. Just and it's weird because there are few people who understands what's going on, but they're ignored, right? Ignored a lot. So what I'm getting here is the fact that he knows how to push those buttons. You know how to push those buttons for other people, right? And you have people who could tell you, "Don't let him get you riled up. This is what you do. This is how you do A, B, and C," and then it's not working because he just hit that button too quick, right? Um, and again, here's go those emotion cards too. So controlling emotions of people and the imagine. It's weird. It's the imagination, like the abstract thinking that I'm looking into. Okay, that's the Page of Swords, ready to ready to take um attack. 5 of Cups. Oh, tragic ends. This is destruction. This is all that. Um, mm-mm. I don't like this shit. Now this is me reading the physicality of it, right? And this is what is taking place, right? Um, oof, mm-mm. This, oh Lord have mercy. Okay, well, shit. I don't have much to say on it. I mean, if you want me to be completely honest, this is how he's going about it is wild to me. I don't keep up with the news, and I feel like people just need to stay strong when it comes to this. And it's funny because you got the tower right here. Okay, um, and even though it's a government system, we we the people are part of that government system that's been built on and utilized. But also that same government system it has been used to control, and so it's the end. It's coming to the end of that. There are things that are being stripped away, that's being taken away. That people have been used to. I've seen it from like seeing for other people have been saying. And it's just it's looking at real life situations happen. Okay, these are quick changes, and that's expanding. Yeah. Okay. This got me a little bit upset, but it's okay. We as a people are going to be fine. Okay.